Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Tuesday the 8th of December. Looking at the euro dollar first then, and yesterday we saw some support off the weekly pivot, 21 moving average, 4 hourly 21 moving average there, and it's had a reasonable retrace from where we were coming on as we were selling off. Now, is this going to turn here? Well, we'll see. Looking at the shorter time frames, coming down to the 60, and at the moment we have been putting in a series of lower lows and relatively lower highs until this point where we're sitting at the moment, and it looks like it's just trying to break this prior high here. It's just may have just broken it slightly there, so we are at that sort of pivotal point, I guess, in terms of whether this is going to carry on pushing up. If it does, we've got resistance into the R1s above us. It's a monthly R1 and daily R1 above us, so we got that above us. If we see it start selling off, well, we've got a bit of support, but really we could be coming back for this weekly pivot and S1. In the shape that it's sitting in, I prefer the downside mainly because of the lower lows and what we're seeing here, and fundamentally it fits better. So we'll just watch how we're doing there. So that's the euro. The pound, back to the dailies, and it's pretty much still in this sort of descending. I mean, if I bring this daily picture, it really has been just, I mean, this has just been a descending channel it sits in. It's just been, or regression channel, should I say. It's been just sitting around the mean. It's not too far off its mean. It could continue in this manner. At the moment, it's seeing a short-term rally, which again, well, it's got its daily pivot above us. It may just push on a bit further. Similar picture in terms of mainly lower lows coming through here as we've been just dropping down. The only difference here, it's actually weaker in terms of it hasn't managed to push up and question the highs yet. And even if it gets up to that daily pivot, it could still tumble. So and if it doesn't get through there, if it does get through there, we may just run into the 60-minute 50, which again may provide some resistance. It didn't yesterday on the downside for too long, but may do on the upside. If it's a weak market, we generally find that the downside support tends to fold easy, but the upside resistance holds. So let's just see how it runs, but has got the possibility of running back for its daily pivot at the moment. Dollar yen. The dollar yen's already done quite a bit this morning. It's just pulled back, and it's not in a technical recession apparently. So it's sitting back, and it's moving back in its in this big range that it's sitting in. So, well, the weekly pivot looks odds on at the moment. Shorter time frame as we come down, there's that weekly pivot just below us. Funny old pattern in terms of where it's sitting at the moment to say it's the news that it's not in a technical recession. May have just seen it strengthen a little bit against the dollar, but it's now pushing there quite strongly for the S1. For me, all the targets that I'd normally be looking for on a daily basis have been hit there. It could just continue rolling, but it has got some strong support sitting there with the 500 and the 200 moving averages sitting there. Okay, Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar putting a pivot swing in the end yesterday. I mean, as mentioned, the prior day we'd run into double tops. Looking at the bigger picture first here, really put in a pivot swing, and it's triggered that sort of downward motion here. There's further sort of poor data coming out of China last night, and again, or through the Asian session, should I say, and that could just see as well if this daily 21 doesn't hold, could see us coming back down towards that daily 50 and 100 at some point. For the moment, it is just holding. It's putting in quite a decent reversal bar in from the 4 hourly perspective, which, well, maybe see us coming back towards the 21s, if not higher. It has got an untouched daily pivot, but it looks, for the way it's been moving, it looks like a big ask at the moment, possibly. Canadian dollar. Well, the Canadian dollar's reliance, and I say reliance, but correlation with oil isn't helping it today, that's for sure. As it's, if we're going to look at the bigger picture here into the monthlies, we're sort of, I mean, it's just lost so much value against the US dollar here. In fact, I'm trying to work out when we was back in that sort of realm back in 2004. So it is flying up, and at this point it's running towards that 1.4 area. Goodness. Looking rather weak on that basis. Well, there's resistance sitting here into the monthly R1, which may hold it a little. And well, we've sort of double topped here, and if you look at the double top and the sort of the RSI sort of at the bottom here, there is arguably a bit, it's not quite a divergence because it's really reflecting what's there, but in a sense it's slightly, but the RSI is quite a lot lower here as opposed to it being sort of similar-ish. Okay, the price is similar-ish, so maybe it roll over here. If it does roll through that 21, maybe it's got a chance of a bit of a recovery. And I'm looking at that. I'm looking at oil, the West Texas oil here, and when you look at actually come back and look at the bigger picture first here. Just click on the right bar there. And you can see a monthly picture here, and we're almost back to the 2009, early 2009 lows here. So, and it's, well, may just want to get back down towards that level first, back to $33 a barrel sort of picture. So it does when you're looking at this look weak. There's not a significant amount of support here, and when it takes a tumble, it takes a tumble, doesn't it? Oil, and it's won't take too much to obviously get it rallying again. You need something coming out from OPEC or something just to get it kicking back in. And this is always the threat to the shorts when the market is getting low like this. And is it wouldn't take too much for OPEC to say something or someone to say something, and all of a sudden you see a bit of a rally quite quickly, quite sharp, and we'll force those shorts out. Okay. So that in itself, as I said, is not helping the Canadian story too much. The more it's sitting there and the lower it goes, well, the less chance we've got seeing of a break of this trend line here. Okay, news today. Looking at through the news events, we've already had quite a few out there from the Asia markets. Looking at 9:30 manufacturing production, quite a key figure coming out for the UK at 9:30 there. Sometimes gives us a decent kicker, key numbers, and then following that after 9:30 it does look a bit weak on the numbers front right the way through the day. Actually, it's very building permits and Canadian building permits, not a big mover. I think anything to do with oil may have a bigger kicker. We have got, I'm just looking there, we've got the Bank of Canada governor speaking at 5:50 for those that are trading the Canadian dollar. But nothing else much really that's to me that I can see any movers there. So oh, beg your pardon, the one thing I should overlook there was the economic financial ministers are meeting in Europe at the moment. So sorry, European financial ministers. Okay, so that's all that's going on there. So that could give us a little kicker on the euro or, at some point if some of them start talking. But as I say, it looks relatively bearish if we see a break of this trend. Right, that's it for me. Hope you have a great one. Bye for now.